Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the podcast, episode number 4. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll show you guys my outfit. I think I'm gonna do this a segment. I have this little cute, I thrifted this outfit. Sometimes you do find cute stuff when you're thrifting. I found this really cute thrift shop by my house. If you can't tell, this mic is really irritating me, and I bought this off of Amazon and I thought it was a good startup, but it's just in my way. Like, how could you guys see me if I'm speaking into this? So that's why I don't know how I like it, because if I put it here, then you guys can't see me as much. But yeah, it's been a while since I dropped an episode. I believe it's been like 2-3 weeks. And that's because a lot has been going on. I actually have school. I feel like it's been a while since I recorded, and I get really excited to record because I get to like get all ready and all cute with the outfit and the hair and everything, and it's like an outlet for me because I'm somebody that doesn't have a lot of friends, and even though I have friends, I just choose to not hang out with people. First of all, I'm busy, but another aspect is that I'm working on myself, and just being around people all the time is not the recipe for growth, for self-growth. So I'm on my self-growth journey, so I'm just pretty much like not isolating myself, but my time is worthy and I'm only giving my quality time to my close people and family. Hopefully this is better like this. I'm not sure if the quality of this episode is gonna be trash because of this mic. I'm sorry if it is. I'm gonna try to get a different mic, honestly. And I'm thinking of just renovating the whole equipment that I have. I'm not sure if I picked the best equipment, even though it wasn't even cheap. So I'm like, usually like cheap stuff is bad quality, but not in this case because this mic was on the pricey side, and it's still, I'm not sure if I don't know how to use it. I even asked my husband to help me with it, and he did, yet the last episode literally came out so bad. The noise was so loud. Like when I uploaded, after I uploaded the video, I was watching it and I was like, wait, I had to take it down like immediately. I was like, wait, that's crazy. It sounded so off. Like the audio was super loud. And what I ended up doing is posting the episode without the mic sound, just with my device sound, what I'm recording on. So yeah. But honestly, the past 3 weeks have been insane for me. Like, not insane, but I'm just dramatic. You guys will like get how I am like later on. But I'm a August Virgo, so like on top of it, I'm Middle Eastern, so like I'm as dramatic as it gets. And I literally finished my spring classes of college like a week ago or so, maybe less than a week. But 2 weeks ago or 3, I think like mid-May, literally a couple weeks ago, I stopped working my part-time job that I had. So now my routine and everything is so different. Like I wake up and I have the whole day to myself, and I get to just like pick and see what to get done or what to do. And honestly, that has been a blessing, even though like I know that's not gonna like last long, because I'm the type of person that I don't like to sit still and not do something. Like it's not even about like anything, it's just about like I believe I have ADHD. Like I can't sit still like in one place and like be stuck in a routine and like not do a lot, if that makes sense. Like work used to take a lot of my energy, even though it was only 3 hours, but still I had to like drive and get ready, and like, you know, traffic, and like to get back home it takes like a while. So yeah, it's been good that I've been able to get done a lot of stuff. You know, the stuff that you've always needed to get done but you always kept like putting off? That's literally what I got done. All of those things. I tackled a lot of like household chores, like, you know, like going through like closets, pantry, and all that stuff. So it's good. And honestly, for the past weeks that I haven't been working, I added something to my routine to replace work, like those hours that used to be me working, just so I don't go insane, which is going to the gym and lifting. So I was already working out when I had work, but it was mostly like low impact workouts. Like I would walk, I would hike, things like that, or like home workouts. I do have like some weights and my whole setup and everything. But after stopping work, I decided to start lifting because that wasn't enough for me and I still had a lot of free time. Like I would get my walks done in like 45 minutes or so, sometimes an hour, and I'm like, what do I do next? So what I started doing is I got a membership. I actually got a family membership and I started taking my son to karate, but then that was seasonal, so that ended. It was only for like 3 weeks and I kept going like by myself. And honestly, it feels so good to get back to lifting. Like I've always loved lifting weights when I was younger, like when I was 14 and 15 and 16, I loved lifting weights, and that would be like my like outlet. Like I wouldn't say therapy, but like it felt like that. And another update actually is I started going to therapy and I had my first session. Technically I had 2 sessions, but the first one is like an introduction, or like it's like to get to know the person. So I did that for like an hour. Then I did the first session, that was an hour as well. The first one was in person and the second one was over Zoom, and we're gonna keep it like through Zoom from now on. And honestly, I'm so glad I finally had the balls to like go and start therapy, because the big misconception that a lot of people have about therapy is that they think you are sick if you go to therapy, or like you're mentally sick, or like you have a problem. That's what everyone thinks when you tell them like, oh, I go to therapy or I have a therapist. But in reality, that is not how therapy works, or that's not what therapy is for. Therapy is for everyone, regardless if you even been through stuff or not. Even if you are, a young teenager, like everyone needs therapy, and it's actually such a good outlet to like vent, to have like a friend on a professional level, I would say. I don't know why I did this, because it is professional. Because, at the end of the day, they are mandates reporters. So keep that in mind. Like if you have some crazy like thoughts or any like self-harm or like harming others, that you should not tell to them, because they have to report it by law. So honestly, I don't have any of that. I started going to therapy because obviously like I have a unique story. I've had to grow up very, very early, very fast. Like I moved out at 16. I had my child at 17. All of those things. So like I had to grow up fast, and going through that as a child and raising a child, and that wasn't like an easy situation. So I feel like even if you're not in my situation, even if you have nothing crazy going on, it's just good to have somebody that you could conversate with about your thoughts, your feelings, on a friend level. So yeah, I really believe that therapy is important and beneficial to everyone, regardless of the age, gender, race. Anybody and everybody needs therapy. And honestly, I wish that I would have like started therapy a long time ago. I've always like gotten the advice to do so, like postpartum and all of that. Like the doctors would like advise you and give you resources and tell you, regardless if you like told them about that you need to do that, or if they felt that you need it, they just give it to everyone. And like it's just resources for everyone, because you never know where you have like a moment. We're only humans, and life is not math or calculated. Like it's not like 2 + 2 = 4. Life is not like that. Every situation has special aspects and details and ways that makes situations and makes our lives like so different from the others. And honestly, I found my first session so beneficial because I had to just tell her my whole like life story since like my childhood, about my family, things like that, and obviously like my teen pregnancy. And as I mentioned, I moved out at a young age at 16, so I told her that, and she was like, basically like, you've been just on go since the age of 16, and I'm 21 now, about to be 22 in 3 months, literally. So what she was telling me is that you were basically a child raising a child, and during all these like difficult emotions, and it's just not an easy situation to be put in at the age that I was. So I handled it with grace, thank God, and I've like achieved a lot since then, and I've always picked myself up whenever I had like fell down. And she was just telling me to like be proud of yourself and be happy that you even made it to therapy. Be proud of yourself that you brought yourself to therapy and you did your first session. And that really made me feel good. I was like, yeah, thank you. She said basically like, when people sit here, it's because they're truly looking to improve themselves from the inside out, and that's what matters the most. Like, of course, I'm somebody that works out and that's active and that advocates for like exercise. So of course, your physical like appearance and your body and your physical health is important, but so is your mental health. Like, what my therapist was telling me that I found really beneficial to like think of. She said everyone wants to better their eating. They want to go to the gym. They want to improve their body and all of that. But they never think of like exercising their mental muscles or their brain. Like, they don't take care of that part. Like, they want to take care of their physical part, their physical body, their physical health, but they don't think of their mental health. Like, that part cannot be left out. You also need to exercise that part and focus on that part. Like, you need to improve your brain just like you improve your body. And so is the mental aspect of it. Is like, you need to do that aspect too. You cannot neglect your brain and your mind and your mental health because you're focused on other aspects. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my next therapy session because it's just like I mentioned earlier, I don't hang out with a lot of people, and even if I did hang out with friends, I just find it like mentally draining to vent to friends about your mental like problems and issues. And even if it's like your old traumas or just any negative thoughts, I believe I mentioned that in the previous episode that I'm against that. I would prefer to say that to my therapist, because not only that they're professional, not only that they've studied, but they're like an unbiased person that's not gonna judge you. And that's the good part. That's like the best part about therapy, is that they hear so much crazy stories. Like, that's what they studied. That's their job. So they're not gonna sit here and judge you. Your situation might be unique, but it ain't that unique to them, you know? Like, that's all they hear about is people's problems. Like, literally where they sit you down, where I was sitting, next to me there was a little stand, a little table stand, and it had like tissues, and like I low-key teared up a little bit. Like, it wasn't like I started crying. I just started speaking about my motherhood journey when it first started, and like I was young. So like I kind of teared up speaking about my son, and I just reached over and I was like, wait, you have these here for a reason. Like, you know, people are gonna be crying sitting here. But in my situation, I wasn't crying. But even if you cry, it's fine, honestly. Like, it's just like, think of tears as like toxins coming out, or like think of tears as like they're washing the bad toxic stuff and it's coming out, you're releasing it. Honestly, scientists have found that crying is such a good release. Like, it's so good for you. So it's okay if you're venting and you cry. That means you're actually, that's what the therapist actually told me, is that it's okay to cry when you're venting, because that's a part of you healing and moving on from it, and like looking at it in a different light. Because after you cry, you feel so good, and like it's just like a release. So honestly, crying isn't even bad at all. Like, I wish that like I could just like sit by myself and just like cry to let it out, like if I'm ever stressed, or like when I was in those stressful situations like back then. I wish that I could have done that, but it's difficult. Like it has its own moments, like it'll just come down when it does. But even then, just let it come down, and it's a release. Think about it like that. So crying is never a bad thing. And I used to always think of it as a bad thing. And I used to always say like, oh, I never want to cry in the front of anyone. Like, I don't want anyone to see me crying. I never want to cry in the front of anybody, doesn't matter who they are. But now that I'm like growing and I'm thinking back, I'm like, we're only human. Like, even if I cry in the front of people, they're human. They should understand. And if they don't, that's on them and that's their problem. I have to release, so I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta put my mental health and myself first. So if that was like the first thing that happens is like my tears coming down, I'm gonna let it organically come down. Like, let it happen. Like, if that's what my body wants to do, that's what it wants to do. And I don't care who it is. Like, and I don't care what age you are or what age I am, I'm gonna cry. Like, that's the thing about me. I don't know if it's like a Virgo thing. I don't know. I'm the type of person that like puts a lot of stuff on the sign. That's why I got it tatted, because like I really love horoscopes. But I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it has to do with like my life story, that I'm just an emotional person. I like to cry. Like, if I'm stressed, if I'm under stress, if something happens right there and then that is like super like stressful, I'm gonna let it out. I'm gonna cry, and it's gonna be an ugly cry, but that's okay, because I literally move on right after that. Like, you'll catch me like 20 minutes later laughing, kicking it up, and like totally forgetting about like the big ass mental breakdown that I just had. Which honestly, I feel like a lot of people needs to do that. Like, we're only human. Like, feel it out, let it happen, then move on. Like, at least you're feeling the emotions. Like, when you feel sad and you feel your emotions, that's actually a good thing. That means like you're alive. That means you're not a cold-hearted person. Like, you still have love in you. Your heart is like big and loving, and that's why you feel emotions, because you're alive and you're emotionally intelligent. And thinking about it that way literally changed my whole mindset. And like reading about that, because I always like, that was an insecurity of mine, like when I would be younger, and I would have a mental breakdown and then I would cry in the front of people, and then afterwards I'd be like, fuck, why did I cry in the front of them? But now that I'm growing, I'm like, dude, who gives a damn? Like, if those people don't get that humans have emotions, they cry themselves too. If they don't get it, then I don't need those people around me to begin with. Fuck them. So yeah, I love this mindset. Like, I've been just working on myself, not only physically, not only mentally, but also like my perspective on life and on a lot of things. It's just, I'm trying to be on the positive route. I'm trying to be more like, give the people the benefit of the doubt. Don't let people even get you stressed out for 1 second. It doesn't matter if it's a close person to you, or if it's the homeless guy on the street, or the crackhead, whatever, the person on the street that's trying to like throw rocks at your car, you know, the person in traffic that's trying to flip you off because you cut them off, or they cut you off. It doesn't matter who it is, whether they're close or a stranger. I don't let anybody piss me off for even 1 second, because I switched my mindset to look at it like this. Like, if 50 years down the line, I find out I have a disease, we say in Arabic and in Islam, we say la samahallah, like God forbid, right? I find out I have a disease. Then I look into it and I ask the doctor, like, what could be the cause of this serious disease that I just discovered 50 years later? And I would find out, or the doctor would tell me, like, were you like mentally stressed? Did you have like a mental breakdown like a couple years back? Or were you stressed in your like early life? early young adult life where you stressed out to the point where you were mentally not okay. And honestly, if I hear that and I find that out, I would be like so upset and so disappointed. It'll upset me even more that I let a stranger that doesn't matter to me 50 years down the line, or even if it was a close person to me, like the fact that they got to me that bad, to the point where my mental is fucked, to the point where my mental is effed, like that, I can't wrap my head around that. I would be super upset that any other human being got to me like that bad, you know, like to the point where I became mentally like ill, or like now I'm facing a disease because of all the stress that I endured because of this person, you know? And it would be even worse if that person is a stranger. But the type of person I am, I would be mad even if that person was a family member, because like if they love me that much and they care about me that much, they wouldn't have put me through that much stress that it would cause me mental illness. And I would just cut that person off way before it's 50 years. But you guys get what I'm trying to say, is that through research and through like watching a lot of things, I've seen a lot of doctors, like older doctors, finding old patients, like elderly patients, having issues because of mental stress that they endured in their early 20s, or you know, their early life when they were younger. And I don't want that happening to me. My number one priority is myself and my health and my family. So I don't want anything happening to me, so I could be here for my family, so I could be here for my son till hopefully I see his kids, then his kids have kids. So yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. I'm so Arabic about that, like wanting to see Joseph's kids have kids and then their kids have kids. Like that's what, 6 generations or however long it is. I would love it if I could live up until then. So that's why I'm gonna try to take care of my physical health, my mental health, everything I can, so I can live longer and be healthier longer and be here for my family. So yeah. And honestly, like, I don't know about you guys, but like living around that and seeing a lot of adults be so stressed and always fighting and just like causing a lot of problems, like mentally, like growing up and seeing that made me like see what I want and don't want. Like that made me like grow up and think like, okay, this is not how I'm gonna act, this is not how I'm gonna be. I'm not gonna let these situations get to me. I'm not gonna even be in those situations or be around it. So like it's a good thing and it's a curse, like living in, like growing up around a toxic environment. Like it's a good thing and it's a curse, because it helps you like know what you want when you get older, like whether you want to break the cycle, or you don't want to be like this person, or maybe they inspire you. Like the good people can inspire you. It's June 15th and it's so hot in California right now, specifically in LA. It's literally like 80 degrees and it's 5 o'clock. Like that's so insane. That's the one thing that I don't like. Like California doesn't even get that hot, but I still don't like the heat. I'm so bougie. I don't know what it is. Like I can't, since I was a kid, I can't take the heat. And honestly, like I'm from Iraq. So like they say Iraq, not that they say, like I also remember it being like very close, similar weather to California's weather. So you would think that I'm used to it, but even when I was a kid, it was hard for me to take the heat. And honestly, California isn't even that hot, but it just feels like it. Like 80 for me is a lot, and I avoid going outside, literally. I only go if I really, really have to. Other than that, I'm home with the AC blasting and the fans, because I don't know, something about the Iraqis is the Iraqi in me that can't handle the heat. Even though they say like it's a stereotype in the Middle Eastern, like how do you say it, culture, they say that Iraqis have hot blood. literally. They say it in Arabic, and that's what it translates to in English, that we have hot blood, like we're angry or something like that. I don't understand how that is. They just say like we're more aggressive than the rest of the Arabic countries, like Syria, Lebanon, and like the other countries. They're more like mellow how they talk, their accent, their dialect is like a little more like, but ours, we're more like aggressive. You know, we get mad easily, we got attitude, all of the things. But I think that's a good thing because we put our foot down. Like, we are gonna get our justice. We are gonna go after what we want. We're gonna put our foot down. We're not gonna let anyone use us as a doormat or step over us. And that goes for the women and the men. We're just like that. And I low-key love that about us. You know, sometimes I wish that I could find more Iraqi girlfriends that live in LA or near LA, but it's just so hard to run into Iraqi people. Like, what I run into is other Middle Eastern countries, but not Iraqi. When I do run into Iraqi girls, it's always like on social media, on TikTok, that live in America, but they don't live in California. So I'm like, damn, am I the only Iraqi girl in California? If you're an Iraqi girl from California and you watch me, which is rare, comment below or hit me up and let's hang out. Even though I'm busy, but we'll make time, you know. Summer's coming up. Speaking of summer, you know how I just mentioned to you guys earlier that I just finished my spring classes, spring 2025 classes? Well, I am not having a summer break because your girl took summer classes and it's in person, literally. And it's gonna be like, kind of like a couple cities down, not that far, but like with traffic, I know it's gonna be like far, but I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm not because it's gonna be hot. But the class is like music and concerts, so that should be fun, I guess, for the summer, but I'm not sure. And they said we could bring like a +1 to the concert, so you know my husband's gonna come. Yeah, because he is my #1 best friend, literally. Of course, after my son. Or they're both my best friends, you get me? This was just like a yap sesh, like a all over the place kind of episode. I don't have anything like to touch on that's, let me think. I don't know how I forgot this, but in LA for the past weeks, we have been having the massive deportation issues all around California, where ICE is going around and just arresting all Mexicans, whether they're immigrants or not, whether they're documented or not, all Mexican immigrants. Or I heard like even if you just look Mexican, they're just taking all people. ICE is just like camping out and hunting people down, and it's just such a sad time in LA. And I really feel for my fellow Mexican friends and people and families, and I really hope that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. I really hope that things get better. I really hope that parents get back to their kids and kids get back to their parents. It's just such a sad thing to see. It's so sad because they're literally haunting people down, families in the front of their kids, hardworking people that pay taxes, that have been around and that have been in America for decades. And it's so sad because there is a lot of people that came the legal way that are Mexicans, that are immigrants, and they're just taking everyone, whether they're documented or not, whether they're involved, you know, in criminal activities or not. They're just taking all types of people, even if they're innocent, the families, the innocent kids going to schools. That's like the saddest thing I've seen, is when they go to the school and they pull the kids out and the kids don't even get to say bye to their families. And like, as a mom of a 4-year-old boy, I couldn't have imagined me and my son going through that. And my parents are immigrants themselves. Yeah, we are legal, but I still feel for those people, because it's only human for us to feel for these people that are facing massive deportation. Honestly, if you're just a human, period, you should feel for those people. It's just so sad to just be sitting back and watching, and just like we're privileged to be able to sit back and ignore it while the world is literally burning upside down. They're still families, they're still babies, they're only humans like us. They don't deserve that. So fuck ICE. And I can't believe that our president is letting that happen. I mean, I could believe it because of all the past things that, you know, he's done or said, but it's just so sad that no one is helping. The government is actually against its own citizens, and it's so sad that the people are just peacefully protesting, yet the government is literally going against them and just pushing tear gas on them, all types of weapons, and just insulting its own citizens. I just can't wrap my head around that. And I really wish the US a better future. I just wish better things for the US, because at the end of the day, we still live here, whether we like it or not, whether we like the US or not, we still live here. So I really hope it gets better for us. But I think I'm gonna end today's episode on this note. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know down below in the comments what you guys would like me to speak on the next video, or if you guys want me to, anything that you guys want me to do. Honestly, I'm thinking of adding a segment. I think I said that like in the first episode, that I'm gonna do a segment in the car where I film like one episode a month in the car. But I'm planning on getting those clip mics, or like the mics that you hold, and I'll use that for the car, because I don't know how I could put this in the car, because this has a whole clip and wires and things like that. But thank you so much for watching. Bye.